Hello, my name is Kirby Wing, and I'm the current Asian Student Union President at Renton High School. AAPI Month, also known as Asian American and Pacific Islander Month, is observed in the United States during the month of May. It recognizes the contributions and influence of Asian Americans and Pacific Islander Americans to the history, culture, and achievements of the United States. In this video, we would like to recognize some Asian Renton High teachers and commemorate them on their hard work in improving our school's culture, education, and solidarity. Hello, can you state your name and what you teach?
My name is Yoon Jin Yang. I am teaching math here.
What is it like in the Renton community?
I love this school very much, and I feel safe, and I feel loved, and I feel inspired by the staff member and then student. And I love to come here every day.
What is your experience like teaching at Renton High School?
So actually teaching is a kind of a new career. It's my third year here. Then so far I'm in honeymoon. I'm really enjoying every moment of the teaching. And when students are working hard, then when they are asking me some kind of a challenging question, when they found my mistake, I feel really great. So far, so great.
Thank you. Hi, what is your name and what do you teach?
My name is Dylan Okimoto and I teach language arts for 9th graders mainly. This is my 19th year at the Renton High School.
What is it like being in the Renton community?
I previously didn't live in the Renton community, but now it's been about 4.5 years since we moved to Talbot Hill area. And I really like it. I live really close to the school. I just feel a lot more of a tie and connection to the school. And now that my daughter attends Renton High School, I feel an even or a stronger tie and connection. But as an Asian American, I guess, I don't really feel like there's a super strong presence necessarily where I feel an active participant in, say, an Asian American community. So that's not super strong feel for me.
What is your experience like teaching at Renton High School?
In the beginning, it was tough. As a first-year teacher, it is really, really tough. I felt supported by my colleagues in the LA department, but you know, when you start out, you're all alone and you're surrounded by students that need things from you. So it's like super intimidating, I guess, in the beginning. But I've not taught anywhere else. So all of my experience as a teacher has been here, and I really love the school and love the staff generally. I mean, because again, I don't really work with a whole lot of other people, just like my department. And they're a very strong department.
Hello, what is your name and what do you teach at Renton High School?
Hi, I'm Miss Keopanya, and I teach IB History, Civics, and U.S. History.
What is it like for you in the community at Renton High School?
As an Asian American teacher,
Yeah.
it's actually pretty exciting because at Renton High School we have so many different ethnicities and groups, and the Asian community is, very diverse. And so it's been interesting learning about other cultures outside of my own.
And what is your experience like teaching at Renton High School?
The experience has been great, and it's actually very similar to how I grew up, because I grew up in South Seattle and I went to Cleveland High School, and the population is pretty similar. However, one of the reasons why I wanted to become a teacher is because I very rarely had teachers of color. And so I do believe that teachers should, the teaching population should somewhat reflect the communities that they serve. So, yeah.
Thank you. Any
Thank
lasting
you.
things you want to say?
Let's see, October was Filipino American History Month, so happy Filipino American History Month.
Hello, what is your name and what do you teach?
My name is Miss Dell, and I am your librarian, and I also teach Teacher Academy this year.
What is it like here in the Renton community as a whole or as an Asian American teacher?
Those are two different questions. I mean, I love being here. I've been here since 2009, and so, Renton High School is who I am, and so I love being here, and I think we have the best students around. I mean, not just in our district, but in the city. So, yeah, I love Renton High.
What is your experience like working at Renton High?
I have had a great experience because I do believe that we have the best students. So I think most teachers are here to work with kids, and so when those relationships are good, and I think that we've got the best and brightest, then my experience is going to be overall good. So even though there's tough parts to the work that we do, overall those relationships with students are good.
What are your opinions on the Stop Asian Hate movement?
Well, my opinion is it's necessary. I think that unfortunately we live not in a time right now, because historically it's kind of unfortunately been the same, but that we are bringing attention to the need to sort of stop all hate crimes and work towards a more equal and just world.
What are your hopes for the Asian community moving forward?
I think, my hope is always to, build a more just world that we can all sort of have equal access to success. And that's kind of always been a plight, I think, in the Asian community. And so I just want to see more success towards achieving that.
And is there anything else you'd like to add, ask, or share out?
I was excited to watch the tinikling downstairs, and for those of you that don't know, so it's always a surprise to some of my students to know that I am Filipina, but that in high school I was the one in the assemblies doing the tinikling, but I did not go down there and show off my skills because it's been quite a few years since I've done it. But anyway, I was excited to see them out the other day.
Hello, what is your name and what do you do at Renton High School?
My name is Sweevy Nguyen, and I'm the athletic trainer as well as a substitute teacher.
What is your life like at Renton High School?
I love it here at Renton High School. I think the kids are great. They make my work really easy and fun, and I look forward to coming here all the time.
So as an Asian American, what is the role of being a teacher like for you, or a faculty member?
I think my role is to help explain to our students what it means to be diverse and stand up for yourself. As an Asian American woman, I have a lot of things I think going against me from the get-go. So just being able to provide my experiences and kind of talk to you guys about what I do, where I come from, what I think is kind of my role.
What is your name and what do you teach?
My name is Mr. Lim, and I teach 2 classes of mixed choir, 1 class of a cappella choir, and 1 class of piano.
What is it like here in the Renton community as an Asian American teacher?
I've never really thought about it as being an Asian teacher. I've always thought about myself as just being a teacher in a very diversified school, Renton High School.
What is your experience like working at Renton High?
Well, yeah, I like that. We have a very diversified student population, and some students kind of relate with my background, and they want to know about my background, and when I tell them about it, they relate with that. So we have some long relationships, especially in choir. There are some students I've had for over 3+ years, and they're still in choir.
What are your opinions on the Stop Asian Hate movement?
I think the biggest thing with the Asian hate stuff is because people are not very aware of other people's culture, and they discriminate because they don't understand, and it's easy to always blame somebody else for things that go wrong.
All right. What are your hopes for the Asian community moving forward?
Well, I do hope that we don't get beaten down by the hate or misunderstandings, that we can still work together as a community and build it stronger.
Hello, what is your name and what do you teach?
Hi, I'm Miss Amrita. I'm one of the Academic Advancement Coordinators, or AACs.
What is it like here in the Renton community as a whole, or as an Asian American teacher?
It's interesting because So I'm Punjabi American, so I'm South Asian. My family's from Punjab, and like I don't always connect with feeling Asian, and that's sometimes its own topic. But it's interesting of how my identity comes up as a staff member here, because there are not a lot of South Asian students. Which is, I wish it could help me connect with students in that way. I really don't think it does to an extent it could.
What is your experience like working at Renton High?
It's great. I love working here. I grew up in Renton, but I went to Lindbergh. I really love working here. For a long time, my goal was to get a job working here. And so getting to do it has been really amazing. I love getting to work with students. My job is super cool. I just get to have like tight conversations with students every day. We get to do math. Like I'm having a great time in my role.
What are your opinions on the Stop Asian Hate movement?
Yeah, great question. I think I have a lot of feelings. One, I think it's really great that like this very large Asian community can come together and kind of advocate for ourselves. I think it's really amazing kind of seeing the response that happened. But also, as someone who is South Asian, it has been a really interesting like erasure of my people in the Stop Asian Hate movement. My people have been hated on for a long time, and there was no Stop Asian Hate movement then. And then once it started happening to more fair-skinned East Asians, I think that's when we saw the movement come up. So I'm glad it's here. I'm glad it exists. I just want it to be more inclusive and kind of like bring in all the different folks that are Asian. And I think sometimes people don't even know who that really includes. So just like more education and thought around that.
Yeah. What are your hopes for the community moving forward?
Like in general or at Renton?
Up to you.
Okay. I think kind of like what I said in the last one, I'm excited to see like our communities learn more about each other, kind of learn to be more inclusive of each other. We have a lot of issues that exist in our communities. There is a lot of anti-Blackness, there's a lot of discrimination of other folks, like there's a lot of toxic culture that exists within Asian communities. And I'm excited that our younger generations are learning so much about educating everyone of why it's not okay that we exist in those ways, and kind of like, I don't know, like balancing our traditional cultures while also understanding like how do we like move forward in this world where we're being inclusive of each other. So I'm excited to keep seeing that more.
As you guys can see, these are some of the Asian teachers that we had the chance to interview throughout the year. Thank you to all of the Asian teachers in the Renton School District, as well as teachers in the world, for providing the education for the students and giving us the opportunity to learn and grow and improve our community. Throughout the month of May, let's commemorate all those of Asian descent who have partaken in improving our community. Thank you, and hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of Asian American and Pacific Islander Month.